You may have heard of casual armor by now, but have you heard of casual Outlander? I personally love the color palette and all of the aesthetics of Outlander. I just feel like it genuinely captures the Scottish countryside and all of the colors you see when you just look out of the window here. But I personally feel like the fashions of that era are not necessarily something I would normally reach for. So I have made my fair share of Outlander inspired outfits that I ended up wearing for like costume purposes, but not necessarily on a day-to-day wear. But I have been feeling the itch to make something Outlander inspired again. And lately, I don't know what's happening. Like, I genuinely don't know what's wrong with me, but I have just been wanting to be comfy. I used to always wear my corset like every single day to work, and I think it was somewhat of like a coping mechanism just to put on my armor and try to make it through the day. But now that my life doesn't feel like a constant battle, I just want to be comfy. I don't know what's happening. I've been reaching for my corduroy trousers from Halara basically every single day. When I work from home, when I walk Archie, it's just like the thing I wear to be comfy, and I don't want to wear anything else, and it's such a shame because I have so many nice things. But I don't know. Am I just getting old? I spent a hot second looking at myself. I made this little red gingham top and it has a peplum, and I feel like peplums are coming back into trend. It's like one of those early 2000 trends that I actually don't mind coming back. I was looking at myself and thinking, you know, this is actually very loosely Outlander shaped. And then my mind immediately went, but what if I made a really, really comfy Outlander inspired outfit? So I'm not talking like massive pleated skirt. I'm not talking like boned fitted top. I'm talking like comfy baguette trousers that have like the folded up hem that are really comfy. And I know I just made a pair in a previous video. Already talked about this. The fabric betrayed me. I wore it again. I'm not feeling it. It's just not something I will reach for. I'm not happy with it at all. But I still really want to be able to make trousers because skirts are easy. Trousers are the hard thing. So I still feel like I need to finish this. I need to actually be able to make a pair of trousers. I'm gonna make the comfiest Outlander inspired outfit that you have ever seen so that we can be casually dressed in Outlander fashions. So now, let me show you the fabrics I got. I got myself a grey Fraser tartan. So if you have been trying to make your own Outlander inspired outfits, you will know it is basically impossible to get a tartan that is not black watch. Like, all of the tartans you can buy are just so bright, and I don't understand it. Like, surely by now fabric manufacturers must have realized that Outlander colors are really on trend. Alas, it is really hard to get anything that is a nice color when it comes to tartans. So there are some wools that are really nice, but then also you're paying like £40 a meter and you can't really wash them. So if I make an outfit that is really, really, really comfy, I also assume I'll be comfy enough to eat a curry in it, and then if I spill it over my trousers, I just go, you know what, just pop them in the washing machine, which I can't do with wool. So that is something I considered here, and I decided that I don't want to go with wool. This is what I found, and I actually think this is perfect. So I found this first and immediately thought, wait, but Claire has this grey outfit, doesn't she, where she wears this as a skirt. And then in combination, I'll actually show you here, she wears a brown bodice, which is not something I would have normally reached for with this grey black tartan, but it works for her. So this is what we're going to do here as well, to be accurate. So I got myself some brown poplin and, for the contrast, some off-white poplin. So these are the colors we're going to be working with. So now let's talk about patterns. I am going to be using very trusted patterns here. I already know exactly what I want. I just have to execute it right. I am going to be using the bodice from the Claire dress from Hubbarding. So that one is the one I've been using for the pajama top I've made in some videos ago, and the gingham top I made recently. The idea is that for this top, it is actually quite cropped and it is really wide. So I have been fitting it with a dart just under the bust to give it a little bit more shape in the front. In the back, it's really loose and hanging, but it's so comfy and I absolutely love it. I will give it a bit of a sleeve, not a poofy one, not a fancy one, just one that maybe goes up to here so it covers like the worst of my arm and then ends in a little bit of a white ruffle that comes out. So with the Outlander top, obviously, it would be a bodice that kind of goes along here, and then there's lacing and an underlayer underneath. That's not what we're going to do here. We're going to fake it. So I'm thinking I am going to just cut the bodice apart. The middle bit will be white. The outer bit will be brown. Then I'm going to line everything in the brown fabric, put the sleeve on, and then have some little ties that just kind of like get sewn into the seam here. So that is my plan for the bodice. It will look Outlander inspired, definitely not Outlander accurate, but just the vibe. And then I'll have the little peplum underneath, so it won't be very form-fitting. It will be good for when I'm bloated, when I'm uncomfortable. When I am just really comfortable, it won't be this tight, but I don't know. I think I'm just getting old. I just want to be comfy now. And for the trousers, I'm using the same pattern that I used before, which is actually for the ruffle trousers for the pajamas I used. The last time I underestimated the tightness of the elastic I put into the trousers, and it also takes some off in the back to make it better fitted, and it ended up fitting really tightly with a corset. So now that is not what I need from a pair of trousers. I need them to be super comfy, and I even put on the little belt loops so that if I wanted to wear it with a corset I could, but in this case I didn't really have a choice. And then I'm like, if I wear a corset I'd rather wear a dress. So and then the fabric, it just wasn't right. So we're gonna do everything better this time. Not gonna fit it as much because it's like really that is going to be done by the elastic. We're still gonna have a front closure because that is the one problem I have with my pajamas, that they have a tie string and they just feel very pajama-y because of it. I want these to be outdoor trousers. Let's find my patterns. I'm not going to show you my pattern stack because I know you always get upset when I show it. So I'm just going to say it is perfectly organized. I know exactly where my pattern is. It is definitely not just in that one drawer the way it was the last time you all got really upset. So I'll just quickly find it and then I will start working on the bodice and I'll talk you through what I'm going to do. The main bit of the bodice is going to be brown, whereas I want the center of it to be white. So for this, I'm just folding away the center of the front piece of the bodice and not cutting it out in brown, whereas then I will go in and cut this out from the white fabric. And here you can see me also tugging away a little bit more. As I mentioned, I usually go for a dart here, but in this case, I'm just trying to take it out of the brown fabric. Then I went ahead and cut everything out from the white fabric as well for a lining, and I also cut out some ruffles. These ones I just estimated, a ruffle for the sleeve, then the ruffle for the bodice, and a white bit to be inserted into the front ruffle of the bodice. So this is what the bodice is looking like all pinned together. So you can see the inner bit that will have the lacing and then the outer bit that is like the jacket that goes over it. And I've taken the dart out of the brown fabric. So the brown fabric has kind of like an angle in it, whereas the white fabric is just straight, just to give it a little bit of shaping, which I've also put into the lining, but there it will be a dart. But before I start assembling this, I'm going to add some of this lacing that I wanted to have over the white bit, because I think it would be better to sew it on first and then sew it together, because otherwise the lacing will kind of shift around while I'm sewing everything together. So just to make sure everything stays nice and put while I'm sewing it together. The top is finished. It still needs some serious ironing, but other than that, it's honestly so cute. It feels very Outlander, even though it obviously doesn't have the right shape, but just look at it. It's adorable. So that means I can get started with the trousers next, but before we do that, let us talk about what happened to merchandise, because I do remember back in the days when Outlander just came out. I mean, we're in season 8 now, so that must have been at least 8 years ago. I remember it was the first year at university where I was still commuting by train to get to the classes. So that must have been 2014, 12 years ago. They brought out this merchandise line to go with Outlander, and every piece was just so stunning. That's where I got my original Claire riding coat from, which, as I mentioned, wasn't amazing quality, so it was cheaply made, but it was so pretty. And they had multiple items, also like little blouses that were kind of in the style of what I've just made. What happened to us getting merchandise like this? Because nowadays you can still buy Outlander t-shirts, but just not these really cool recreations of the costumes. Like, bring that back. I want to be able to buy really cool costume like merchandise from my favorite TV shows, especially with like stuff like Fourth Wing coming out now. Give us that. Since we can't buy stuff like this currently, we just make it ourselves. With that out of the way, I will start on the trousers. So now the construction of the trousers I have been covering in multiple videos now. It's just a matter of sewing the sides together and the insides and then the crotch. Start assembling the trousers, on which the cat currently sits. Let me show you. Good girl. We've got a pair of trousers, so we're not going to make the same mistake again that we made the last time. To the front, this is nicely fitted. I'm currently wearing corsets, so obviously that is not always going to be the case. So it fits really nicely. I've got the side seams right on the sides here. In the back, there is very much space. So I'm hoping that the elastic, which is very strong, will pull all of this together, and then we'll have a lot of fabric that is cinched in, but that can be stretched to my waist. So we're not going to fit this overly. We're just going to trust the elastic in this case, hopefully. Currently wearing this with a stripe is maybe not the best combination. And I'm also wearing this with knit tights underneath. So it's not making my legs look slimmer, if that makes sense. But I do think it's cute. I did a double pleat this time, because the last time with the black trousers I only did one pleat and it didn't sit properly. So in this case I'm making 2 pleats right here, and I think it sits quite nicely. What is going to be happening next? Okay, I've actually been contemplating this for long enough that the battery died on me. A little bit more sewing and all of the difficult bits of sewing, but we can definitely do it. We will not lose our courage here. Also, I just wanted to say, you guys know how I got a new haircut recently, and then when I was telling you 2 videos ago, I basically styled my hair exactly the same way, and then everyone was like, how is it different now? But when I style it like this, it feels very, yeah, I've got just like really short layers now, and I'm not curling my bangs the same way anymore because I liked it, but I don't know, I've just like, something's wrong with me. I'm just like shedding the old, bringing in the new, not new as in like trendy, new, just like different. So this is actually how my bangs just air dry. Or maybe I just watched Off Campus and saw Ellie Hayes and I was like, oh, I need to have my hair like this. So got it like layered quite a bit. But it's so much less maintenance. But it brings me back to emo days, because when I put my hair away, I've got millennial tendrils hanging out now. And I like it. I think it looks cute. New hair, new me, new comfy everything. I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe it's the whole having finished my thesis, having finished my book, having started a new job. I don't know. Maybe it's just like one of those. I mean, it's not a quarter life crisis because I'm past that. Maybe it's like 3rd life crisis now. Also, let me show you. I obviously cannot show you the cover because I guess I'll have to do like a really big reveal about that. And also, this isn't the final cover yet. This is just one of the preprint versions that I've been sending to my friends. So this is how thick it is. It's 650 pages almost. And it's now with my beta readers, so with the first set of beta readers. And I am really hoping I can get this to you at some point. I mean, I've been telling you about this, but it's just been in my heart for so long now. And I just want to get it out there. So I'm not querying again. Querying is genuinely sucking the soul out of me the same way that applying for jobs is. So I will skip the querying for the book. I will just accept that it won't be traditionally published because I just want to get it out there. I just want you guys to read it. I don't want it to be like a big best-selling thing because I don't actually want to be famous. She said running a YouTube channel, but also I don't want that publicity. I just want the right people to read it. You will hear about this at some point. I'm just waiting for some feedback because I will forever try to make this book better and never give up. So hopefully, eventually, I will come to the point where I'm like happy and ready to share it with you guys soon. Soon. Anyways, I am literally just procrastinating so I don't have to do the fly situation, but let's do it now. I think I might have to change the shape of the legs a little bit because with the last trousers I made them a little bit slimmer because I just used the trousers the way they were for the pajamas and they look really cute for the pajamas, but I think in this case they might be a little bit too wide. So I have adapted one leg, this one on the left, to be tighter and this one is still wide. So I'll show you what both look like and you can make up your mind for yourself. So this one's a little bit wider and this one's a little bit more fitted. So not like a massive difference, but I do think I prefer this because this is just a little bit too wide. So I will just go ahead and adapt the other leg as well. And then I will sew the cuffs in and I'll have to do something about the little fly here because it basically closes, but it still needs the buttons and stuff in. So we are on the finishing line. So let's do a little bit more of sewing and then we should be done. So we are done, other than the little button-up fly, which I still have to deal with at some point off camera, and I will decide what I'll actually do with it. But I'm actually really excited with how this turned out. So this fabric is actually a wool feel polyester. So I know I'm not the biggest fan of polyester and normally I complain about polyester every time I work with it. But this one is actually fine for sewing. It feels nice and I am confident that it can go into the washing machine without trouble because I washed this already and came out without a single crease. So we will not have the wrinkling issue I had with my previous trousers. But that means we are done for the day and I just need to do some ironing and some pressing and some trying on and then I'll have a finished casual Outlander look. I'm genuinely really excited to see this together because I already tried on the trousers and they are really cute. I tried on the top but over my jumper, so it didn't look amazing based on the fact that I was wearing a jumper underneath, but I'm really looking forward to seeing this together. Let's jump ahead into the reveal and let's find out whether we can rock, whether the cat can move the camera while I'm doing a little segue here. So let's jump ahead into the reveal and find out whether we can make a casual Outlander look work. So a little catch up for the end of the video. For the top, I think it turned out really cute. I think we really managed to get this Outlandery vibe without actually going for historically accurate. And I do love how the little ruffles turned out and the little lacing, and it looks exactly the way I imagined it, but it doesn't necessarily benefit my shape very much. So I do feel a little bit boxy in it. So it will be something I will wear around the house for pajamas or maybe for like occasional situations if I was to go to like Highland games or something, but I don't see myself wearing it on a day-to-day too often because I do usually prefer things that are form-fitting at the waist. So it will be another pajama top most likely, but I think it will be a really, really cute one. As for the trousers that I'm currently wearing, so I wore them throughout the day today after I did the reveal because I wanted to see how I feel about them, because we've had this before, right? We've made trousers, they looked amazing in the house, and then I went outside and I went, eh. So with these ones, they're comfy, which is what we were here for. I think the whole pocket situation up here and the pleats turned out really nicely, so I am getting a hang of that slowly, which is really good because I've been making a lot of trousers by now. I still prefer my Halara trousers, if I have to be honest. They sit a little bit better. So these are a little bit squinned at the hems, and I'm not really sure how that happened because I did like use the pattern to make sure they were straight, but they sit a little bit squinned. But generally speaking, I like them, and they're very lightweight and comfortable to wear. And as you can tell, I'm currently wearing them without a corset, so I can wear them in a lot of situations. So I think I'll reach for these a lot, especially when autumn comes. I see myself wearing these with like little dark academia inspired outfits. I think this is a great addition to my wardrobe. They are not necessarily more summery than my corduroy trousers, so I don't see myself taking them to France because it turns out there's actually like almost 40 degrees currently. But that brings us to the end of the video. So we've made an Outlander outfit. It was a success. I'm really happy we've done that. It was just like a weird idea I suddenly had one afternoon being like, what if I made casual Outlander clothes? And I'm really happy we made it because it was fun. With that, I will say goodbye. I will go on and do a little bit of reading because I've been doing a lot of reading lately. Not working on my PhD or my own book anymore gives me a little bit of free time to actually expand my horizon and read other books. Also, I should say, I handed in my PhD. Ha! So that happened between me sewing and me filming the reveal. So I'm now waiting for my viva, which is basically a defense of what I've done, and gives me a lot of free time now because I'm not constantly having to work on so many projects at once. I still have to work a lot for my job, but when it finishes, I'm kind of done with the day and I don't have to still edit 2 other documents. Just have to also run a YouTube channel. I might be talking a lot about the books I've been reading because I love talking about books. So I will do that in my next video, and we'll do some more sewing probably, some more crafty things, and I really look forward to seeing you in my next video. So bye bye.